Today I have this unfinished wood circle. It measures 12 inches in diameter, and I'm going to mark down on the 7-inch mark, and I'm just going to draw a line with a straight edge going across. Now I have some painter's tape that I'm going to place on that line, and above the painter's tape in the larger section, I'm going to be using some General Finishes Antique Walnut Gel Stain. I'm applying that with a Gen foam brush. This goes on very easily. Once your surface is covered, you're then just going to take a piece of paper towel and just wipe off the excess gel stain. Now, if you want it to stay dark like this, then you'll just have to let it dry or allow it to sit on the wood a little longer. But if you wipe it off, you can start to see that the wood grain shows through, and I just love this look. And then I'm going to remove the painter's tape. I allowed that top portion to dry before I move to this next step. Once dry, I'm going to place the painter's tape on the other side, and I'm going to give this a coat of some Wise Owl primer. I'm using the white, and this is just going to help any bleed through, especially when painting with lighter colors. Once that was dry, I then just took the Wise Owl Snow Owl paint, and I gave it a good coat on top of the primer. And then I will allow that to fully dry. Once everything is fully dry, I'm going to take another piece of painter's tape and place it back on the top portion. And I'm going to use the Wise Owl 1-hour enamel clear on the white portion of the board. We do sell a 4-ounce size of this on our website, chalkitupfancy.com. And you can apply it to the gel stain as well. Just sometimes if you go too heavy, it may leave a little bit of a cloudy film on the gel stain, and I did not want that to happen. I'm going to be using this Animals Transfer. It comes with 3 sheets of different animal prints, and it measures 6 by 12 inches. Now, before going to this step, you do want to make sure your 1-hour enamel dried overnight, and you're going to remove the white protective backing from the design, and you're going to lay it down on your project. Now, I'm putting the cow print directly on the white paint, and I'm going to rub it in. Now, once you lay this sticky part down, you do not want to lift it off your surface. So make sure you know where you want to place it before laying it. And then once it's placed, you're going to just take your little wooden stick and you're just going to rub on top of the design. And as you rub and lift up that clear sheet, your design will adhere to your project. Now we place the 1-hour enamel clear down prior because it gives the board a nice slick surface, which makes it easier to transfer your design. And you could just rub it in, making sure all areas are adhered to your board. Next I have this welcome stencil. This came from a 2-pack from Hobby Lobby, and it was $2.99. You can find it right in their spring section. And I'm just going to be using the welcome from the stencil. So once I have my placement, I'm going to lay down my painter's tape on the edges, and I'm also going to cover up some of the design because I only want to use the welcome word from the pack. Now I'm going to be using some Wise Owl Snow Owl and a foam dabber, and once you have your paint onto your foam dabber, I like to dab it onto a paper plate before going to my stencil. This removes any excess paint. If you have too much paint as you dab, it will seep under your stencil. So remember to always use a small amount of paint, and you may have to dab over it a couple of times, but less is best. You can also use a roller if you have a mini roller. These foam dabbers you can find right from Dollar Tree. And then I'll remove my stencil. I like to take a very thin art brush and go back through and just fill in all those little lines from the stencil. And if you just use a little bit of a dabbing motion, it blends in with the same print that comes from the foam dabber. Now I'm going to add a bow, and I have 3 different types of burlap here. They are all wired and the bottom layers are a little thicker. I'm going to make 2 loops, 1 on each side, and then I'm going to take the burlap that is trimmed in the buffalo plaid, and I'm going to just glue that around the center. Now when you're working with a wired ribbon, you can kind of fluff it up and position it how you want. I have these artificial greenery. It was actually a candle ring, and I'm just going to cut parts of it off, and using my handheld stapler, I'm going to staple 1 piece on the right side and 1 piece on the left side. And then I will take my bow and I'll lay that in the center, and I'll also staple that down onto the board as well. And then you can fluff it up and make it nice and full. And to finish it off, I added a jute hanger to the back side. Now I will have other projects releasing using the other 2 animal prints as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Paint products, tissue paper transfers, and mesh stencils can all be found on our webpage at chalkitupfancy.com. And don't forget, you can also check out other tutorials on our webpage as well. Have a great day.